Are all C6 Corvette ZR1 replica spoilers the same? Not at all. I'm going to compare two from two different sources, and then I'm going to install one on my C6 Z06, which involves me drilling holes in it. Makes me kind of nervous. So as I continue to build out my C6 Z06 the way that I like it, the rear of the car, well, I think it looks a little unfinished. And it has what I think they call the duck butt spoiler, which is pretty funny. The most common solution is to do an upgrade, but keep the factory styling by using a Zr1 Style Spoiler. OEM versions of the ZR1, the C6 ZR1 spoiler, are rare, and they're pretty expensive in most cases. Replicas, on the other hand, are easily available, and I bought two of them from two different Corvette parts suppliers at approximately the same price. One I got from a company that I'm not going to bother to mention out loud for reasons that you'll see, but you'll figure out who it is easily enough. The other I got from RPI Designs, who's been around for a little over 20 years now, providing a huge selection of parts for late model Corvettes, Camaros, and even Mustangs. The differences between the two spoilers could not have been more dramatic. Check out this complete comparison. So first, let's start with the packaging. We have manufacturer A, we'll just say, on the left, and RPI Designs on the right. And the difference is immediately noticeable between the two. You'll note that RPI Designs was really smart, and they put a strip of hardboard on two sides of the box running the entire length of it. And the reason for that is so it doesn't buckle or get bent during shipment. Case in point, like this. And then thereby damaging the contents inside. Now here's how manufacturer A came out. Just like this. And I assume that these were supposed to be in some sort of container or something, but they were just loose in the box. And that's it. Simple. Wrapped in foam. Okay, so now that we get the spoiler from manufacturer A, if you want to call it that, unwrapped, it looks pretty good. Except right away, things become apparent. First and foremost, it's broken. Okay, so that packaging should have been better. Second of all, then when you flip it over and you take a good look, you can see that it says ABS Extreme Online Store. And so what they probably do is get these things cheap from them and then throw a coat of paint on it. No big deal. That's business. That's how it works. But the problem is the paint isn't that good. First of all, for some odd reason, we've got yellow here. And then over here, the paint just is not good. It's ripply, it's wavy, it's got some dust in it. It's just not good overall. It's got a lot of problems. So if you're not particular about it, sure, you could throw it on and call it good, but, you know, for a company that says they obsess about your Corvette, they didn't with mine. And there's no instructions, just the hardware and the spoiler, and that's it. So here's the thing. This is the second one I've received. The first one was actually even worse. The paint quality was absolutely horrible with even more runs and drips in it. This is the replacement that is broken and still has runs and drips in it. So needless to say, I will not be putting this on my Corvette. Now this is how the spoiler from RPI Designs came. You'll note that it's packaged a little thicker with, I want to say a little bit more care with the foam. Apparently it comes with some instructions, which is awesome. The other one didn't come with any. And then you've got this. They actually spend the time to tape it to just a piece of wood just to keep it stiff and keep that one center part from breaking, which is a bonus. And it also came with a whole bunch of extra packaging in that box to keep it safe. So I got halfway through unwrapping the spoiler from RPI Designs, and I stopped because I wanted to show you something. First things first, there's even more wrapping underneath the initial wrapping, if you will, to protect the ends. And then there's this. There's yet another piece of wood secured to the underside to protect it. There's instructions, which are clear, plus there has pictures on the proper way to install the third brake light, and, well, just some nuts. Where's the bolts? Hey, guess what? They're already installed. I am absolutely amazed at the difference in quality. First of all, it's not broken, which is a bonus right there. Second of all, once you get the underside visible, you can see things like the bolts are secured with retaining clips like from the factory. And the paint quality is phenomenal. There are no runs or dust particles that I can see. Nothing. Not a single flaw. A quick coat of Armor Shield on this, and it is going to be good to go. So it's definitely obvious which one I'd rather put on my Corvette. Let's see them side by side. Now, to be fair, the one that I got from, well, manufacturer A, the quality wasn't necessarily bad. Just bad paint, packaging, and actually customer service. I'm not going to get into that either. But uninstalling the factory duck butt spoiler is pretty simple. Here's how to do it. So to start, it's pretty easy. You just want to remove both left and right tail lights. And then on the inner tail light on each side, reach in with a 10mm socket, and you want to end up pulling out 4 of the retaining nuts that look just like that. And then once you get all 4 of them out, there's 2 here and 2 here. Once you get all 4 of those out, and then you unhook the third eye brake light module from the inside. Again, reaching in from one of these, either the left or the right, it doesn't really matter, whatever's comfortable. And then we should be able to just lift this out. Nice and easy. And it's always times like this I like to take a look at how much crud has built up over the years and make sure I get that cleaned out real good. So at this point, now that we've got the duck butt spoiler out, that's what they call it, I guess, we're going to transfer these bolts, these 4 bolts, that the 4 retaining nuts came from, as well as the third eye brake light module, onto the new spoiler. So while I'm transferring the 4 bolts over to the new spoiler, I learned a little trick. First of all, you can't install them by hand. It's just too snug. And second of all, I don't know what tool is the right tool to use to install them then. I tried using vice grips, but then I found out that using a 4mm socket does the trick. It fits right on there, nice and easy. And you can snug things down. I don't know if this is the right way to do it, but it worked for me. If you know of a better way, let me know. One thing to note, though, it's very important not to put any downward pressure on it when you're installing those bolts, because it actually makes this part right here bow and bend, and it could break. It seems to be a common thing. So just take your time, don't cross thread, and we'll move on to the next step. So yeah, now here's the part that I wasn't exactly looking forward to. Looking back on it, it wasn't actually that bad, you know, drilling holes in your car. But follow the instructions, and it'll be easy. But here's a hint. You want to start with small pilot holes and then work your way larger. Eventually being about 1/8 of an inch larger than in diameter than the factory bolts. For me, the drill bit size was 11/32, and so that's where I stopped at. You might want to double check your bolt size if you're going to do the same sort of thing. Just in case I use different sizes over the years. Another word of warning, be careful who you ask to hold the camera while you do the drilling. You might choose someone with a rotten sense of humor like I did that made a few comments to kind of make you nervous. Well, you'll see. Okay, now's the time we get serious. This makes me nervous because we're going to drill holes in this beautiful car of mine. But it should be pretty simple. I put down some masking tape. I really didn't need to, but just for good measure. I hate it when anything touches my paint that's sharp and could leave a scratch, even if it's going to be covered up by the spoiler. But I did, just for good measure. And so from this point, what we're going to do is we're going to get some... I swiped some lipstick from my wife, and I'm going to put some dots on the bottom of the bolts of the spoiler, at least where we're going to drill new holes. And that'll tell us exactly, well, where to drill. Oh, I'm nervous about this.
No going back now. Oh yeah, what's up? Oh yeah, put a hole in that whore.
This is rotten. You're making it worse.
Sorry, hold on, hold on. Is there hair around that? Yeah. Give me the good stuff. How much is this car? Sex with it one more time.
Okay, I needed a beer after that. But now here's the best part. Installing the new RPI Designs spoiler and buttoning everything up. And once I got the holes drilled, I just lined up the spoiler, hooked up the third eye brake light, and then secured it with the retaining nuts. I started in the middle and then worked my way outward when tightening. That's probably the best way to go, otherwise it will not lay flat. And then from there, obviously hook up the taillights, put the taillights back in, and you're good to go. And it looks great. I love the looks of it. Makes it look a little more aggressive, like it was made for the vehicle. And the fit on it is just perfect. Now from here, to keep that shine, of course, I'm going to use Armor Shield. Make sure you check out my other videos for my review. I love this stuff. I put it on just about everything I can on my car, and it works. Check it out. Now, as much as I love my spoiler now and how the look is, if you note in my previous videos, it's all about balance. And what's not balanced is the front of the car. It still has the original Z06 splitter, if you will. Well, guess what needs to come next? I got to get my hands on the matching gloss black Zr1 splitter to go on the front. That's in a future video. Make sure you subscribe. Yep, so I need to get my hands on the matching Zr1 splitter for the front. The car already has Zr1 style side skirts from when I bought it, but they're factory body colored switchblade silver, and I'm debating on whether or not I want to paint those gloss black to match the new piece. So feel free to give me your comments about that. But otherwise, thanks a ton to RPI Designs for making a quality Zr1 replica spoiler with solid packaging, great hardware, and a great paint job, and great customer service. Don't forget to check out my other vids, subscribe and like them, and stick around for more vids in the future, because I've got a lot more cool ones on the way. Thanks a lot.